Okay, so when is Chapter 3 expected to be updated to include the reintroduction of the high-level terms for MBO's enrichment and the PMS?
So answering to the first question, Chapter 3 is expected to be released in September after Marcus Kim comes back, but is not only the only thing that we need to release. The most important thing that we need to complete implementation on is the possibility in PUI to select straight away all the levels from the manufacturing activity list. This was supposed to be implemented in August, but we had a disruption with the developer, so we weren't able to complete it in August, and we're aiming for September, definitely before the go live. I can read the next one. So if a manufacturer ceases the production of a substance for a medicinal product and date is set, and later resumes manufacturing, how is this managed regarding start and end date? So if you have already submitted indeed your manufacturing business operation, you of course need to enter the information such as, the start date and so on. If your manufacturer ends this activity, you can indeed enter the end date, and this is correct. But it's an interesting question because technically, according to the PMS data model, we have a section called application, because you might have a variation for this that you need to communicate, and this is not yet enabled. So my suggestion would be, in case you restart, this activity is restarted from the manufacturer, just remove the end date, update the status to active, and leave the start date as it was before. I will discuss this with our SMEs, but I think this is the best way, because once we will be, for the moment, because now we are in a transitional period. Once we will be able to open the full enrichment with also the target operating model, this behavior will change, because as part of this activity, you will also be able to associate your application, and we can connect and create variations on these versions of the information that you submit. But for the moment, if you restart, just remove the end date and leave the start date and make sure the status is correct. Now, Vivian, I don't know if you are muted, but I can continue. So
perfect. No, I'm here, sir. I'm having some technical issues myself, but we can move on to the next question. So there we go. This scenario question. Okay, so we have this scenario. So one manufacturer produces two substances for one MP. Should we create one manufacturer MBO entry with the earliest start date, or two separate ones for each substance?
So the first, we are still discussing this internally, because again, summertime, not much availability from all the experts is possible. But if you have one manufacturer who is responsible for producing more than one substance, unfortunately, at the moment, we don't have the possibility to connect the manufacturer to the substance level. In the ideal scenario, you should be repeating this and connect it to the right substances, okay? But now we don't have this relationship in place, so you can just submit once and enter the information for one single MBO. I hope in the future that we will be able, as a matter of priority, specifically for the MBO submission, to release this relationship across the whole PMS data model. Because if you are familiar with our PMS model, we have references of manufacturer that can be reported at medical device level, a pharmaceutical level, a package level, so all, and a substance level. So all of these are not enabled. So we need to do it, and for me and for Marcus, is one of the priorities because of this exact scenario.
Okay, there we go. So this is the next question. Perfect. So what do you mean as legacy product? Since when? Which is a specific date? Is it from the 1st of January 2010, 2005, 1990?
It's a valid question, and it's something that Marcus is willing to clarify in chapter 3. So I cannot give an answer now because I know the chapter is not yet ready and we haven't yet gathered all the feedback. But it's a valid question, and I can assure you it's well taken. It's not going to be left behind. So apologies if I don't have an answer now, but because we need to align and we need all the experts on that. So you'll see in chapter 3.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was answered. So will there be a training environment for PMS like XComp for XEV and PD?
Super interesting questions. I hope you can hear me because I keep seeing messages that you can't hear me, but I'm literally eating the micro. So there will be this question open 2 topics. One is indeed the training, and another one is the availability of the environment for testing and playing with the system before you can actually use in a confident way production environments. So there will be, of course, a training, and but before that, we are aiming to deliver a test environment that can be used for you, to play, to allow your vendors to align with the PMS API, etc. And this is the priority for us for API. For PUI, this is not yet taken. Training environment, very quickly, we are going live with the API. We want to release a test environment for for you to test the system before using the production environment for API. We need to discuss, and we will be able to provide you more information after the go live. So in October, we want to release specific dates, which will happen on a monthly basis for external users of an API to test to play and use the test environments. The situation is we don't and we cannot for the moment create an ad hoc environment for you to test. We need to coexist with what we have already. Currently, in July, August, our external tester, they have been testing API functionality right in our system. And our idea will be to coexist, meaning that every month we will be opening the test environment in PMS API for external use for 2 weeks, and we need to agree the timelines and the process for accessing and registering in advance. Because once we open, you should be ready for using that. So you should deal with your credential and collection of the secret credential before we open that. We need to publish the process. We need to publish also the timelines and the dates exactly, so the external user can plan accordingly. And we're aiming to share with you this information by October, so right after the go live. We need to discuss with UPD because the PMS system is also sharing the same system with UPD, and we cannot block their activity as well as the PMS deployment activities. That's why we need to coexist, meaning that when we open for you, our team, internal EMA developers, cannot deploy any changes, and this is a blocker for us for the deployment, of course. We need to coexist. So it's a bit articulated, it's a bit complex, but we are aiming to support both EMA and external developers until we're able to create fully and totally dedicated external training environment just for you, and we can stop coexisting.
API messages are refused due to validation errors. We saw errors that were already there in the original data and PMS API, for instance, a missing legal status of supply item. Can you confirm that on go live there will be only valid data in the system?
Yes, I can confirm, and we are discussing. We need to discuss it in this week and the next one because the fact that you don't see the legal status of supply item, it should not be a blocker for you to submit information. Before my holidays, we went through all the PMS data model and we identified the exceptional business rules that should be should be bypassed because it's a bit articulated. If you open chapter 2, you see that there are business rules where you have some data elements that are mandatory to be submitted. And legal status of supply is one of them. But this is in the ideal scenario to be considered once you have a full product entity to be submitted as a fire message. In this case, where we are just allowing a specific set of data elements, so not the full data model to be submitted as part of the fire message, we have to block these business rules and make exceptionally the green lights for that. So yes, we are working for that, and we are making sure that you can submit the data without being blocked because of these rules.
So let's move on to the next question. Where can we find an updated list of what EMA has already fixed and what are the known issues? The links on PLM portal direct us to updated information like PMS release notes.
So you can check on PMS. So you need to open PLM portal and you need to check PMS Q&A. In that document, you can have it's kept up to date. And the last updated version I just opened, I think it's from, it was from July or June. It's from June. And this is the most up-to-date status. Now, of course, between June and today, the colleagues, I can already tell you, they are fixing other stuff. But we don't want to release every week the same little bit of information. So that's why for the go live, we will be giving you on a quarterly basis an updated status. So we're planning to republish it with a list of bugs and data quality issues that have been fixed. So please open that. Don't open the PUI known issue document because that one, and we are also discussing with our colleagues, is updated, and we need to make sure that this is also reflecting the latest status. We can't do everything at the same time, but this is also on our radar to update it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so next question is, will there be any information provided before the go live regarding which validation rules will be activated for the right API?
Yes. So the colleagues, I came back 2 days ago, so I still need to catch up with every team. I follow 7 teams, so I need to catch up with our fire adapter team. And I know that while I was away, the team has released, also with our change management team, a new version of the right implementation guide. This was released on the 11th of August. And as far as I know, it should contain some of this information. I need to check if all the rules have been included or not. If not, this will be made again available on time for the go live. But the answer is yes. You need to know. Otherwise, you can't create. You can't align your RIM system to API and establish all the validation rules and alignment.
Perfect. So moving on to the next questions instead. So information visible in dynamic product reports are different from the information visible in PMS PUI. Could you please provide the rationale why there is such variation in the data in dynamic products report versus PMS PUI?
I noticed this too yesterday because I was addressing tickets and I asked you for investigation, colleagues. I don't know what happened, but I noticed that there are a few data that are not really aligned with what we have in the view page of the PMS PUI products. And so please bear with me, I'll check. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer now, but I noticed that and I already raised this.
So we'll let you know. Okay, so this is also old, so we will resolve it. Okay, and there we go. So chapter 2 was updated. Let me just do this. Perfect. So the MBO certificate data are required for a list of operation. During the previous QI, you told that these data will not be mandatory but optional. So the certificate data are mandatory for the list of operation reported in chapter 2 or not?
So yes, chapter 2 has been released on the 8th of August, the new version. Of course, we have tried to to go a bit deeper and a bit more granular in the kind of business rules that we wanted to share with you. It's not always easy to clarify, because the more granular you go, the more questions you open at the end. With the SMEs, we have been trying to clarify whether and when you have a certificate when you have an operation that has a certificate. So if you open, for instance, section 2.6, you will see that for a list of operations that you can already see published, is usually required a certificate. And this has been an exercise that was an intense exercise, and I want to thank also the SMEs from industry side and the support group, because they went through all their real experience, and they tracked for each operation whether there is or not a certificate. So I trust their work, and whatever is reported here as a list of operation, it means that there should be, and you should have, and certificates, and therefore a bunch of information such as the number, etc. So it's not always implicit that you might have it. If you fall in these terms, you should have it, because the inspections team might release it. If you don't fall within this list, your operation is not in this list, it means that you don't need to submit this information. And I hope it's clear. Now, these are the rules for the data submission. If you open chapter 3, of course, not all the terms might be required for the scope of the SMP and also the EAF. So you need to combine the information from the two chapters. And I hope it's clear. If not, we will try, maybe Vivian, to clarify this in the Q&A document, because I see that
Perfect.
question. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so next question. We have received a request from Norwegian HA to correct PMS data, but ex-Yevim PD data is correct. It's migration issues. Are you in contact with NOMA to explain PMS data why it is not editable? Do you have timelines when migration issues will be fixed?
So no, I've not been in contact with NOMA, and honestly, I need either an email or a ticket for that, because I need a bit more information. Which product, which company are you, and which is the data that are requested from the Norwegian Health Authority to be corrected. What I can tell you is that the Norwegian Authority is doing the mapping exercise with the agency, so they're they have requested our support, to map the data. So it might be, I feel that it might be related to this activity, but I need a bit more of information related to, product company and kind of data that they want to correct. If it's an issue, definitely a ticket, because we need to have a look deeply on what's going on. So I don't know who submitted, but please open a ticket, even address it to PMS PO, either me or Marcos, and this will be sent to us. Thank you.
Okay, next question. So, when is the next update of the ULCM? If it is December, we will still have to enrich the data until the end of the year, even though the list may include additional products.
So, as far as I know, there is no plan for re-update the ULCM list. Nevertheless, please take it as pinch of salt, because we are not dealing with this updated list. I can check with the relevant responsible person and see if there is any plan. What rings me a bell, let's say, could be, as you know, the ULCM list is based on the ATC codes, right? So if the ATC codes from WHO changes, or one ATC code can be removed, it can be renamed, it can be added. If there is any change in that list, then I would assume the ULCM list might be impacted. But this is based on my experience and by logic, honestly. I can check, and I can further verify with the responsible person. But as far as I know, no updates are expected, at least. for this year. Then I don't know the rest.
Okay, perfect. So moving on to the next question. So is the sorry, okay, okay. So here the question was actually yes, regarding to the ULCM products. So yes, the question was, is the deadline for enriching ULCM products in PMS still in place end of December due to the fact that the bulk update functionality will not be released until Q4 2025? I don't know if you want to say something else, Veronica, or just...
Well, basically, colleagues, we are hosting on the 9th of September the QSPR event. It's not a public event, but all the trade organization representative, the authorities and EMA are invited to join. And I would really recommend, if there is anyone who is a representative for their trade organization, to join, because we will be announcing few updates indeed on this topic. Now, I'm not allowed to share any specific information because I know they want to announce it first. So my advice is, yes, there will be changes, but please join the QSPR, and nevertheless, we will make an official communication after that to inform everybody. And thank you for understanding.
Perfect. Okay, so next question. So there we go. So it remains unclear for PMS enrichment non-caps in ULCMs which level of RMS manufacturing basis operation will be allowed per guidance, both high level and low level. Is PMS team still discussing, and when to expect guidance? In RIM we have mix.
So the guide is expected chapter 3 in September. We need to fix it in POI because currently in API, you can select any level exactly for this reason. Because in your system, or in general, not because of the system, because on your dossier, you need to select any kind of system, any kind of level of terms from this list. So what we're doing is aligning POI again to API to allow you to select whatever level you need to select. This was supposed to be in place in August, but because of a disruption with the developer, we couldn't do it. And so we are aiming for before the go live in September. And I hope that clarifies.
Perfect. Okay, so edit API access will be for caps or non-caps in October?
No, edit API access will be for non-caps only, because the manufacturer operation for caps we have already from Siamet. So only for non-caps, and it will be at the end of September.
Next question is, kindly confirm whether the modules are intended solely for reference to the active substance and ingredients, or if modules may also be used to verify other sections of the SMPC, such as the authorized pharmaceutical dose form, etc.
So in chapter 2 is written, of course, we always ask the colleagues to refer to the SMPC or to the relevant modules of the dossier. There are specific modules that we mention. But sometimes we are very well aware that not all the dossier, not all the SMPCs are really clear or aligned in terms of information reported. So if you're able, via using other modules, to confirm the information in the way it has been authorized, such as this pharmaceutical dose form, for instance, this can also be used. So the answer is yes.
So next question is, regarding to include the pack size info for UCLM, how should pack size be included in PMS? Should it be, for example, for a package with 3 blisters of 10 tablets per blister, 30 tablets, and for a container also containing 30 tablets, 30 tablets?
Yeah, I see. So this question comes because we don't yet have enabled the whole relationships in the PMS data model. So you still don't have the possibility to have layers of specific packages, container, and amount of manufactured item. So my suggestion would be to report the total 30 tablets, because that's the full total of the authorized packages. So even if you have like 3 blisters containing 10 tablets, at the end of the day, the product, the packaged medicinal products, the way it is authorized is to contain 30 tablets. Now, for the moment, entering this way, once we will be opening the full enrichment functionality, you will be able to further specify that you have 3 blisters, so a packaged item is also a blister, number 3, and then within these you have 10 tablets each, and the total will still refer to 30 tablets. So the answer for the moment is 30 tablets.
So next question is, any news on bulk updates functionality?
Yes, so in July, we ran the UAT, and with a bunch of, I think, around 28 testers, industry external testers, and we have fixed all that we have identified. Thanks also for them, and I want really to publicly thank them for their attendance and participation and feedback. And everything that we have identified, like as a bug or data to be fixed, it has been fixed. Now they came out some nice to have functionality, which we have taken into consideration and will gradually come over the time, not necessarily after the go live, before the go live, because we have this issue with the developer, but definitely gradually will come. But these are nice to have. These are not blockers. So the good news is that we haven't identified any blocker. So we are going live at the end, again, mostly at the same time of the API write functionality, also with the PY bulk functionality at the end of September. And that's the reason why, I don't know if you joined when I was sharing the information on the training at the end of September, because we didn't see any blocker. And then we have indeed organized a few public events. So one on the 6th of October for the PUI Go Live, and another one for the API Go Live on the 16th of October. So we are going live and it's all positive, all good.
Perfect. Okay, so in the recently released PMS data matrix cross-platform in English, so that file, the EAF shows yes for medical device data. Since this isn't sourced from any database per Chapter 7, will we get edit access to populate this field in the PMS PUI for CAPS product?
Yeah, okay. So we don't have indeed any way to, load medical device data, but EAF, the way we have designed EAF, indeed also for the future scope of the initial marketing authorization and further use of variation form, we have already aligned the model to make sure they could in future grab also this information straight away from PMS. Now, yes, we don't have this data, so it means that according to Chapter 7, it's empty. But the backend functionality is available for EAF. It's just that it's not enabled. To have this enabled, we need to open indeed the full enrichment functionality for the PUI to submit specifically this data, not only for CAPS, but also for non-CAPS. Maybe you're referring to CAPS because EAF, no, actually EAF also is working for non-CAPS. But for the moment, we don't have a plan on which exact other elements we will be opening, because our willingness will be to open everything at the same time. It's a bit cumbersome because we have a dependency with XCMPD and SciMed, but we are working on that because we have daily meetings on both sides of the systems to make sure this can happen for the end goal.
Okay, so let's just move like this for now. So the majority of the known issues in PMS PUI will be solved by the end of this quarter. Will the Q&A doc be updated accordingly?
Yes, we always keep it updated. The fact that you don't see that updated on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis is because it doesn't make sense to update just for one bug. So we do on a quarterly basis, so you can have more information on many other bugs or data fixes that have been scheduled for PMS PUI, but also for API.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. So the colleagues say that they have still an open ticket on correction of manufacturer and MBO for caps posted since a couple of months ago. In regards to the SLA expired in the meantime. Target resolution date was the 14th of July. Any timeline as to when we can expect a resolution?
So I will personally have a look to these incident tickets because we have probably there could be many reasons. There could be that we are waiting for, since it's a cap, there might be the need for wait for Siamese feedback. But if you say 2 months, I need to check the status and I need to check what they did or which action has been taken. I do apologize for the delayed reply. We currently have one person working on tickets in ServiceNow. Marcus and I do our best, but we also have 7 teams to follow. So it's not an excuse, but this justifies the delay. And we have a backlog of 300 tickets that we need to handle. So that could be a reason why you haven't received yet a feedback. But I took a screenshot, so I'll personally have a look. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So next question is, for PMS enrichment of non-caps, the quantity operator is not required as per Chapter 3. However, as per Chapter 2, the conformance is mandatory. Please, could you clarify discrepancy between the 2 chapters?
So it depends which quantity operator at which data class of elements. Pack size, I assume is the pack size. But anyway, in general, yes, quantity operator are not possible yet to be defined either in API or on PY. This is referring to the previous question I received. So there will be a bunch of business rules that in Chapter 2 are set up as mandatory, but because of this go live of API, we will make exceptionally not mandatory to allow the validation of the message, meaning that the message that you will send in PMS by API shall not be prevented or stopped or blocked from the submission just because we are not enabling the quantity operator or the legal status of supply. Everything should be passed just because we are asking a specific set of elements. And I need to check with my FIRE team because I wanted to make sure this is stated clearly in the right implementation guide that has been published in August. And if not, I will request another publication with these exceptions.
Okay, so next question is, please, okay, so this one is actually the next question. So the term quantity operator in Chapter 2, okay, because they're changing as we speak. Yes, exactly, because I'm still having problem with my cursor. Unfortunately, it just, okay, there we go. So it comes and goes. So for the PMS enrichment, so this has been resolved. Yes, yeah. Sorry. There we go. Next question. Okay, so the term quantity operator in Chapter 2 shows as the term comparator in PMS PY reports. Shouldn't this term be harmonized as per Chapter 2 IDM guidance?
Yes, good that you notified me because probably we overlooked. And I'm contacting the PY team to make sure this can be harmonized. Thank you.
Okay. So next question is, please, could you let us know when the issue regarding the unretrieved PMS IDs be resolved? We still have unretrieved IDs for non-CAPS products falling under ULCM list.
So yes, of course, I can have a look. I need a ticket ID. I'm pretty sure you submitted it. So maybe if you can, as a comment, send me the ticket ID, I can check what's going on for these IDs. It might be, and this is just for you to know, that there are different case scenarios. Now I'm talking just with you for information. It could be that you can't retrieve the ID because we have this bug fixing that is pending for data fix now on the retrieval of the dose form, or also from XVMPD, or also from for the unit of presentation, which we notice affects the retrieval of the PMS ID itself. So it might be many reasons. I need to know. It might also be that has been invalidated, but there should be a validated one then from XVMPD. So if you can share the ID, or even best, follow up in the ticket itself, and this will say to the attention of the PMS PO. This will be landing on Marcus and my desk straight away. We can't handle all the tickets, but I'll do my best. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So Next question is, we are still receiving third acts on package descriptions, even if what we transmitted is in accordance with all guidelines. They are changing the language from English to local and removing information.
And this is not good. This is a topic that Marcus is following up, so I took a screenshot and I hope it can take an action this one is back. My suggestion again, please follow up in the ticket again and make sure that it can be followed up accordingly, and we will have a look on it as well.
So the next is, by when the package size needs to be splitted in XEV MPD for non-ULCM products, end of 2026?
So actually, it should be June 2026. But again, please join the QSPR meeting, which is an event that EMA is hosting. And after that, we will be releasing indeed the official communication. But it should be June 2026. We granted a bit more time for you to be able to do all the activities that you need to do. On this point, if you have, because probably you have a big portfolio, the sooner the better, honestly, because this is just the first step. Then you need to, once you have submitted in XCVMPD the splitting of the packages, then you need to go to PMS and submit the structural information. It takes a while because you need to gather also this information from your dossier, from your regulatory office. So the sooner the better, but yeah, we extended a bit the time.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted actually to take the opportunity to mention that we actually have launched the poll. So as usual, please let us know your feedback on the session. Of course, we take into account every feedback received. So thank you for that. And I will go back to the questions. Okay. Okay, so we still have a few minutes. So I will continue. Yes, please go ahead.
The non-ULCM has been you will have more time, so beyond end of 2026. But again, please follow the QSPR and the official communication that will come mid-September, so you can have more time. Sorry, I read ULCM only.
Okay, so let me just resolve this as well. Okay. Okay, so next question is, I have some false duplicates in PUI. There are several false duplicates in PUI, difference at package item, MA number, package description from another company. Can I already start enrichment of the correct entry or wait until resolution?
False duplicate in PUI. No, you can start. Sorry, because I was thinking maybe you had duplicates PMS-ID. So no, if you have duplicates within the data elements of PMS, you can start already the enrichment. We are running fixes at different stages of priority. So we give the priority for the duplicates of the substances, for instance, and also ATC codes. So slowly you will see the data that will be fixed over time, but you can still submit and start the enrichment. That's not a blocker. Because you're touching other elements, not these ones that we are moving.
Perfect. Okay, so next question. So let's resolve this. Okay, so during the initial migration of data from XEV MPD to PMS, only the attachment EV code has been migrated to PMS. The physical document has not been migrated. Is this already fixed?
No, it's not that. It's not a bug. It's a missing component that we need to deploy in PMS. So it's not something that we need to fix. You will see that in PMS, you can see indeed the EV code attachment in the initial one, not even the rest of the attachments. But this is because we haven't yet deployed the functionality to migrate the physical document. This was expected to be done in this year, but because of the whole priorities, such as the enabling of the functionality, the change of the contractor, we couldn't do that. And for the moment, it's not really a priority for the PMS data model. For what is a priority for us is put the industry in a good position to submit their data according to the timeline for ESMP. So we need to gain a bit of time for this.
Okay, perfect. So still have time for a couple more questions. Is the problem with duplicates, identical name, different registrations in Germany and other countries fixed in the meantime? Can I proceed cleaning the impacted records?
So no, Joseph, please don't clean it. This topic has been brought to the attention of the NPO. Our network product owner is from Germany, so B Farm, and we have discussed because there are some companies, not all, with products authorized in Germany specifically, having indeed this situation, and mostly products with national procedure, authorized as national procedure. We haven't fixed yet because before fixing, we need to agree on a good strategy to force the PMS model to gather this data from XVMPD. It's a bit risky because if we change, at the beginning we were thinking, okay, we include the MAE number inside as a defining element, but if we do so, it might be risky because we need to test and make sure that it doesn't affect all the other products. So we still need to agree on a line on which business rules we need to force and test them. So that's why you want it fixed in Q3. Definitely, because all the capacity is diverted for the go lives. Sorry, but it's taken. It's part of our PI.
Perfect. And we have a follow-up question. So thank you for your answer. So it is confirmed that the MBO certificate data relating to the list of operations referred to in Chapter 2 are mandatory?
Yes. So, but at the best of the experience that our industry subject matter experts have put in place for us, all the terms that you see listed in 2.6 should have a certificate. So in that case, it should be mandatory. But again, make sure you read also Chapter 3, because maybe not all these terminologies as MBO might fall in the scope of the SMP or the EAF, because maybe you don't need to submit a variation. So make sure you read also Chapter 3.
Perfect. I think we still have time for one last answer. So in the Annex 3 of Chapter 2, there are not all the lock IDs for all HHs. What have you planned to do for Medicine and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency UK or FDA?
So we plan to contact the MHRA from UK and the FDA because we have few contacts for these two health authorities. We haven't done it yet because we didn't have time, and it was summertime. I was also on holiday, so we couldn't act immediately. But we are resuming this activity as of this week, basically. The network product owner is also, I think, is not yet available, so we need him to contact the MHRA. What's important for you to know is that you won't find all lock ID for all health authorities, because across the globe we cannot reach all of them. It's literally impossible for us, even though we are a European agency. Of course, we will do our best to contact who we have contact with, but we cannot assure you will be able to have all the information for every global health authorities. We try to focus on MHRA and FDA because we can have contacts with that. Thank you.
Perfect. And I think we're running out of time, so it's 11. So apologies today for the technical issues. We will, of course, upload the recording, and we have still a few remaining questions, but as Veronica mentioned before, this will be answered in written format. I'll leave it to Veronica to close the session. Thank you very much, everyone.
No, thank you very much for joining. Again, apologies for the problem with hearing my voice. What I mentioned to Vivian, the fact that we're recording will allow us and you to be able to retrieve the information and the answers. We will make sure we will write it down so you can also follow better. Thank you very much, colleagues, and have a good day. See you at the next Q&A clinic if you're joining on the 18th of September. Bye.